And happy Service Month. Thank you for joining us for tonight's webinar. This session will discuss essential tools and strategies for planning successful community service projects. From identifying community needs to setting clear goals, creating actionable plans, and engaging stakeholders, we will explore practical insights on how to make a meaningful impact. I would also like to introduce some of my team that's here tonight, Shivani and Dominique, and they are the Copy Associates. And Michelle was not able to join us tonight as she's the trustee that works with us. And we are so excited to welcome our speaker for this evening. Dr. Maya Lee received her Doctor of Dental Medicine and Master's in Public Health from A.T. Still University in Arizona. She completed a Master's in Education with a dental emphasis from the University of the Pacific. She serves as a full-time associate professor and director of special care dentistry at the Arizona School of Dentistry and Oral Health, the Center for Advanced Oral Health. She works to support students, residents, and faculty treating individuals with special needs and complex medical conditions. She also works as a part-time associate dentist at Sundance Dental Care. Her many accomplishments and contributions to the dental profession has earned her recognition as a Master of the Academy of General Dentistry, Fellowship in the Special Care Dentistry Association, Fellowship in the American College of Dentists, Fellowship in the International College of Dentists, and Fellowship in the Pierre Bouchard Academy. She has a passion for lifelong learning and service. She's an active member of the American Dental Association and the Academy of General Dentistry, serving both on the state and national level of both organizations. She also serves on the Arizona Dental Foundation Board of Directors, Special Care Dentistry Association, and Rotary Youth Leadership Awards District 5495. Before we begin, I'd like to share a couple of housekeeping items. First, the session will be recorded and available to ASDA members through our website. I would love if you guys would turn on your cameras if possible and participate. We will take questions from Dr. Maya Lee throughout the webinar. Questions can be submitted at any time through the control panel located on the right-hand side of the screen. And now I'd like to hand it over to tonight's speaker. Thanks so much for being here, Dr. Maya Lee.
Thank you so much, Gabriella and Shivani and Dominique. And who was the person that couldn't be here?
Michelle.
Michelle and Miss Sarah.
Yes,
Thank you so much
Sarah.
for the honor for being here. I am super excited. I love talking about community service. My whole life has been about community service from when I was in elementary school until today. So I'd like to think that I've probably served in so many different capacities, and I want to serve as a resource for you all in your journey towards implementing community service projects. I think you might not like what I'm about to ask of you, all of you next, but I will ask that you turn on your cameras. I know this is Zoom and everybody hates putting their face on Zoom, but I do better as a speaker when I can see you all, and we will be doing actually some interaction tonight, and I would love to see your face as you answer my questions, because I think one of the best ways to learn is by having a conversation. I'm not here to teach, I'm here to learn with you. So if you can turn on your camera, I would really appreciate it, because I will start with a lot of questions and I love your feedback and your participation. So before we get started, let me share my screen real quick. And all right, so service above self. This is actually not my motto. This is a title of my presentation, but it's actually not my motto. It is a motto. Does anybody recognize this motto, service above self? That's okay. You know, no one? Okay. So when Gabriella was reading my bio, one of the things in my bio was that I'm part of Rotary. Has anyone ever heard of the Rotary Club? No one's heard of the Rotary Club? Anybody heard at all about the Rotary Club?
I have a little
You
bit.
have? Can you tell me a
Yeah.
little bit what you know about the Rotary Club?
I don't know too much. I just know that I used to work for a general dentist, and she wanted that sense of community even as a general dentist, because once we're out there, we're not in a school full of a bunch of fellows. So she joined the Rotary Club, where she was able to do like community service with a bunch of other young professionals, even more than just dentistry. And yeah, that's all
exactly what it is.
Okay.
Rotary Club is an international organization, actually. There are Rotary Clubs all over the world. And it's it's typically comprised, it started as small business owners. And we all know private practice and dentistry started off as small businesses. It's only been in the recent modern era that there have been bigger group practices. But dentistry started as a small business. And so when you're in small businesses, you can be in silos or you can be lonely, but you have this desire to give back and you have this skill set to give back. And so Rotary Club is made up of multiple different types of business owners where not only did they come together to give back to the community that they were serving, but they were able to exchange resources. In the beginning of Rotary, they would barter services as well, right? So Rotary is a great organization to be a part of. I've been a part of it since I was in high school, and many of you, if you were part of it in high school, the high school version of Rotary Club is called Interact. The college version of Rotary is called Rotaract, and then you would move into Rotary Club once you're graduated and are working. Now, you don't have to be a business owner to be part of Rotary. Now it's comprised of any kind of professional that would like to be involved with the community at a bigger level, not just in their own world, but outside of that. But their motto is service above self because ultimately, even if it is about exchanging resources and knowledge and skill set, at the end of the day, we are all connected through this desire to serve. And we put service to others above our own self. And so it's been a very important motto for myself. And it really is, it drives a lot of the things that I do professionally. The other thing about service above self is it's also one of the reasons why, like, because of the network that I've been involved with through all the community service projects and initiatives, I've not only been simply involved with service projects, but I've started projects as well, and I've kept them going and going, and that's allowed me the opportunities to learn how to lead in my communities as well. Because not only are you leading in the communities that you serve as a dentist, but you'll have a great responsibility and a great opportunity to lead through community service within whichever community that you end up working with. Um, a little bit more about myself instead of all the boring dental stuff. I always like to tell a little bit more about myself because it's important that everyone identify themselves outside of their dentistry world. And once you know who I am, I'm yours forever. So if you ever see me out on the streets at a conference, we're all colleagues. And I would love for you to come up and let me know. And these are things that if you don't know what to talk to me about, this is great conversation starters. So I love doing whatever these word clouds are. So I love mayonnaise. If I had that is my favorite condiment. Don't know if that's yours or if my best friend hates mayonnaise. So we talk a lot about mayonnaise. Chicken wings. I'm a big fan of chicken wings. Um, I'm a scuba diver. Pilot. I'm a private pilot. So I love airplanes. I love swimming and all that stuff. So if any of this speaks to you, you let me know and we can chit chat about that if you need a conversation starter because I will definitely guarantee that we'll cross paths many, many times during your career. All right. So before I ask this question to you, though, I understand that thanks to this council, you all have had many opportunities to participate in webinars, and this council works really hard to provide opportunities for you. And I know that there's an opportunity in September for you all to learn a little bit more about community service. Did anyone did anyone attend that webinar? No one on the call? Okay, wonderful. That means you're all new, and anything I say tonight is going to be new to you. But that leads me to my next question, which is at that meeting, they discussed the how to of starting a community service project. So I'm going to lead right in. And actually, before I get started, can you all, in your name, also put in the maybe let's do state that you're located in. So like the state that your dental school is located. That way when I see you, I kind of get a feel of where we are all laid across in the whole country. I'm from Arizona. I recognize at least two of my students. Hi, Jalen and Lauren. Very happy to have you on here. But If everyone else can also in your name for your thumbnail picture, go ahead and put where you're from. Oh, Amanda, you're from Puerto Rico. Wow, Pennsylvania. Oh, lots. Okay, well, lots of Puerto Rico representation. I really want to visit the PR, so I'm hoping I can come. Pennsylvania. Where's everyone else go? Oh man, I mean half of y'all from Puerto Rico. Are you guys same school? This is just one school in Puerto Rico? Okay, okay, cool. All right. So with that being said, are you all chairs of the community service at ASDO? Pretty much? Yeah? Okay. So can you all tell me one community service project that your ASDA, if you did, and you not everyone, I'll ask for two volunteers. Two volunteers to tell me about one community service project that your ASDA chapter has done in the last 6 months. Can I have two volunteers? So for those of you who are coming in, please go ahead and put what state or country your school as a chapter is from in your name. So Tennessee, Tennessee. Okay, so Laura and Jimmy and who else? Alondra. If you guys can put what country you're in, that would be really helpful. But can I have two volunteers tell me what one community service project that you guys did over the last 6 months?
Dr. Miley, can I jump in really fast? I just wanted you to know that some of our attendees from Puerto Rico are from the brand new Puerto Rico schools that just opened this year. So super excited to see you all. I wanted to give you some context, Dr. Miley.
And if you don't want to share, you don't have to. And if you haven't done a service project, that's okay too. That's why we're here. Thank you, Sarah. Nobody wants to talk? I could put on my teacher hat and call on people, but I really don't want to. Okay, so why don't we branch that out? Tell me about one community service project that you specifically have have been a part of that was fun for you. It could be before dental school, it could be during dental school, but something that you remember when you think community service, what do you think? Lauren, thank you.
So Jalen and I are the community outreach chairs for ASDA District 10, so a lot of the schools on the West Coast. And one of the biggest projects that we've been working on this year was our canned food drive back in November. So Dr. Miley might have actually seen some of the boxes where we were collecting at ASDO, but we not only did a class competition at ASDO, but we also did a competition across all of the schools in District 10. And altogether, we ended up raising over 1,000 cans, and everybody donated the cans that they collected to local nursing homes or canned food centers that needed them. So that was very successful and also just so cool to see what we could accomplish when we really all came together as a district.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren. So one of my favorite things that I was going to mention tonight is the possibility of collaboration, right? So for my school, for Puerto Rico, because you're new and geographically you may not be able to collaborate, you'd be surprised though environments like this where we are together gives you the opportunity to network with other schools. And so tonight, in a few minutes, I'll probably break out and really try to get you guys into different groups. Now, I'll probably ask Miss Sarah while I'm lecturing if she can manually create some groups so that based on where they are, we're not having like the three Puerto Rico people together or whatnot. So far, looks like we have about 16 people minus the 5 of us, so we have about 11 people. Maybe we can break out into pairs, Sarah, if you can manually decide who will be who, and then when I say so, you can break them out into rooms. That would be wonderful. Thank you. All right. So when I ask you what does community service mean to you, can someone tell me? Well, that was just Lauren. I won't just because of time, I won't make a second person talk about it, but I appreciate you speaking up. Thank you so much. What does community service mean to you guys? When I say community service, or when you are the community service chair or outreach director, what are you expected to do? What does it mean, community service? Man, you guys are really quiet. you can totally ask ChatGPT too. Anyone? I'll ask ChatGPT. So ChatGPT says it's voluntary work that individuals do to benefit their local community or society at large, right? Activities that address helping others, improving the environment around you. So I hope you all agree with ChatGPT. It's a pretty safe definition, right? And there can be different types of community service. So can you guys tell me, how do you participate in community service? So it sounds like from Lauren's example, you all came up with an idea and you implemented it. So I would consider this something like a grassroots community service project. I also would consider that kind of project a one-time project, unless it becomes an annual event that you're doing every year. So Lauren, was this the first time you've done it, or is this an annual tradition?
So this was the first year that we have done it, but we would love to see it implemented in the upcoming years and turn it into an annual event.
Thank you. A similar event that one of my student clubs do annually is they do a stuffed animal drive every year to get stuffed animals for our special needs clinic, which is really wonderful, right? The kids often, like the pediatric clinic tends to have prizes, but the special needs clinic doesn't always have prizes to give to patients. And so what the special needs club did was they organized their own kind of drive, not a canned food drive, but they do a stuffed animal drive to give to patients, right? So when you can organize events within your own communities, but it kind of depends on how much time and how much effort, energy, resources you have to put into a community service project. So when I ask why does one participate in a community service project, you have to kind of start with the age-old question of why do you want to do what you want to do? And that might guide you on what you end up doing. So Lauren, do you know how you guys came about doing this canned food drive? Like, why did you guys pick canned food?
So Jalen and I were really just trying to brainstorm ideas on how we could make a difference as a district, because a lot of the schools in our current district are in different states. And so it's really hard for us to all come together as one, but we wanted to try to find a way. And so we figured the holidays are rolling around, the canned food drive happened the entire month of November. So we figured each school could collect cans and then we could all count them, and that would be an opportunity for us to see what we did as a district, how many things we collected together, and then donate them in all of the different states, all of the different local communities.
So in this case, you were working across geography, right? So you had to pick something that could be done locally, but then at a higher level altogether. It also required that you needed to make sure you had buy-in from stakeholders. So as a district, you were working with multiple chapters, making sure that you were communicating across all chapters and that they actually had buy-in, that they bought into what you were trying to implement. The other thing is you also talked about it was canned food. So my next question is, why did you pick canned food versus something dental related? Because we're all dentists and we're a dental association. So why didn't you pick a dental community service project? Did anyone ever ask that question?
That's a great question. I think that my first answer would be there are a lot of community service events, especially at ASDO, that do have to relate with making oral hygiene kits or going out into the community and serving them through dental care. And so I think because Jalen and I are both from ASDO, we wanted to try to do something different. And we were also aware that other dental schools had been doing things that were more dental related throughout the year. So I think we were just trying to brainstorm things outside of the dental scene so that we could not only make difference as dental students, but through other ways as well.
Thank you. So one of the biggest things that I want to highlight is when you start to identify what kind of community service project you want to do, you got to decide, like, do you want, like, because of the very essence that we are ASDA, this is a dental organization, right? Do we want to do something dental oriented, or do we not want to do something dental oriented? There's no wrong answer, but it's really important that you understand, like, you decide what you want to do. Or in this case, one of the first questions that I learned during my public health training is it's one thing to just go right into a community and say, you have to do this, and you don't know that community very well. And so you have to make sure that the volunteers that you'll be recruiting, or the people that you'll be giving the canned food to, or the oral hygiene kits to, like, they actually want that food. They actually want the oral hygiene kits, because it's a big bummer if you do all this work and people didn't want it done in the first place. So when you're identifying a community service project, it's really important to understand the why, and to ensure that the who, the population that you want to serve, actually wants what you are wanting to give them. And so oftentimes you want to make sure that you ask the question of who are we serving, and what would they like us to do for them. So great way of kind of identifying, not only like, okay, here at our school we do a lot of dental related already, so let's do something not dental. But for some of the other schools that don't do a lot of oral hygiene kits, or maybe they want to focus on the geriatric home or the assisted living home down the street, and they need help with brushing teeth or oral hygiene habits or oral hygiene kits, that's an opportunity as well, right? So think about the why you're doing what you're doing, and the who that you're helping with. And I've already asked this question about what examples, so I'm going to skip that. I'm also going to skip this question because I've already asked what kind of examples that you have done in ASDA. So I'm just going to breeze through this real quick, because one of the things I also want you to understand is, as a chair or as a director, and hopefully this is just the beginning for many of you. When I was a baby volunteer, I was just showing up to events. So you could be the type of volunteer where all you do is you sign up to help. That's it. You show up, you do your thing, and you go home. But then you might get elevated to a leadership position like you are all in. And not only are you in maybe a school leadership, but maybe like Lauren and Jalen, you're at a district level. And then beyond dental school, you might be elevated to a national position or even an international position. So I know I have a lot of letters behind my name. It's really not to show off, I promise. It's really because I'm so involved that I have so many letters. And for a long time, I didn't put it behind my name because I was embarrassed. But then I learned that it's actually really important, because I want you all as students to see all the possibilities there are. And so behind my name, I'm a fellow of the International College of Dentists and the Pierre Fauchard Academy. Those are international organizations that are focused on, and they're dental organizations that focus on service. The American Dental Association has national service opportunities as well. The AGD has international opportunities as well. And so as you navigate through your dental career, you're going to have lots of opportunities to network and be part of organizations that do not just local community service projects, but national and international community service projects. One of the projects that I've been involved with for 15 years, is an annual oral cancer walk. And so we plan a walk every year, and this is a local event. Our goal is to help cancer patients in the Arizona community. And so it's a great way for me to have volunteers that work with me to plan an event over 6 to 7 months. But then on the day of the event, I might have baby volunteers that just want to show up and help. Then I have like teenager volunteers that help me from 6 to 7 months ahead of time to plan the event. And then now I have ASDA students that were those teenager volunteers that helped me as a student, and now they've come back as doctors, and they're helping me with the big picture stuff about the walk, right? Then this is a video about an event that we do called Day for Special Smiles. Again, we have a group of volunteers that help plan it in the months leading up to it, and then I have volunteers that just show up on the day of. But we provide dental care for patients with special needs. I don't want to play it because we're short on time, but it's really wonderful to be able to identify like that we can help people from a dental perspective, right? We have other smaller groups that come and they provide the stuffed animals, another group that comes and provides the oral hygiene kits, and then we have other groups on campus that come and provide occupational therapy consults, and we have physical therapy consults. So one of the ideas that you could potentially do at your school is not only can you know, maybe you don't want to collaborate with other dental schools, but for example, Puerto Rico, if there's not another dental school, maybe within your university, there are other healthcare professions. If there's a medical school, if there's a physical therapy school, what other schools are on campus that could potentially be good stakeholders for you to team up and do an interprofessional community service project? Oh, hold on. That's one of our patients. Okay. Then I want to just touch on the fact that a lot of these community service projects can then elevate to the international, where you can do mission trips, not just dentally, but also non-dental mission trips as well, where you're providing a service for different communities all around the world. Now, we're going to brainstorm. So this is where I'm going to have everyone go into a break room. And during the break room, I actually want you to come up with, like, the goal is for you to come up with one community service project. And this is how you're going to do it. You're going to brainstorm the who, what, when, where, how often, and how. And how you're going to do that is these questions hopefully will help you plan a community service project. And you can think about what resources you have at your school. And I want you to both agree on something that you could do at your school. So it essentially is a project that, you know, you can do at your school, but you're working with another person from a different school, and that's okay. Because I want you to kind of just, again, go through the exercises of what you have available and what you don't have available. So when you're thinking about the who, what population are you serving? Are you serving the food bank? Are you serving the geriatric home down the street? Are you serving a local school? Are you gonna service the church down the street or something? So identify who it is that you want to help, and then what kind, like, describe that population. What might they need you to help them with? Because once you know what they need, that might give you the idea of what you can do. And then what are your goals? Is it to collect 10,000 cans of food, right? What time of year is best? So Lauren had mentioned when they were planning, they were thinking, well, it's a holiday season, so oftentimes people need food. Maybe it's the summer season. In Arizona, people get dehydrated very, very much and often. So maybe it's a water drive, right? So think of, like, what time of year are you planning? An academic school year typically is from August to May. So maybe there are holidays, and maybe you can think of a theme around a holiday that you want to organize, right? Is there a day of week that's better than another? Is there like is it a week thing? Is it a monthly thing? And then I don't know why it says white there. I apologize. It should say what level, I think, but we can kind of ixnay that because we're focused on your local school. And then how often? Is this a one-time event? Is this something that you're going to do every month? Is this something that you want to do every year? Right. So one of the projects that we worked with in the special care department that we're trying to implement is a monthly night where we educate our special needs patients about some topic. So the students will serve the community as a community service project because they put it all together, they volunteer their time to educate patients with, let's say, Down syndrome on how to brush their teeth. And so it's an open night where patients can come and they just teach hygiene. And it's going to happen the first Wednesday of every month or something. That's an example. Or is it just a one-time thing? And then I want you to discuss, okay, who would be important people for you to approach and partner with? Do you need money? If you need money, who could you go to for money? Do you need supplies? Who could you go to for supplies? And then who would you go to recruit volunteers? Is it every dental student in the school? Is it just the fourth year students because they have clinical skills? Is it just the first year students because they have more time available because the third and fourth year students are in clinic? Think about what kinds of volunteers you're looking for. Sound good? Hello, hello. So this is I don't know if you guys see me do this a lot, but in the deaf community, instead of clapping, this is how they clap in the deaf community. And I do that a lot on Zoom so that I'm not bothering people by clapping. I know there's like this emoticon that you can do for clapping, but I just like to do this because I'm always on camera. But just so you all know, your piece of trivia for special needs is clapping in the deaf community is like this. All right. So we need to, we're still waiting on room 3 and 4. Where's the other one?
I think it'll just boot them after the
Yeah, it'll boot them.
Yeah.
Sweet beans. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'd like everyone to kind of share a little bit about what they talked about. So I'm gonna go first with room 4, Jalen, Jamila, and John. Can I have someone from that group tell me what you guys talked about?
Hi. Okay. So we mainly kind of talked about doing like oral cancer screenings just for geriatric patients. We were thinking maybe around like springtime in April, because I believe that's like the head and neck cancer like awareness month. So we were thinking that'd be a good
April?
time to do it. Yes,
Yes?
be a good time to do it. Maybe annually, just because it would kind of fall in with the month. We definitely would have maybe like dental students coming, obviously like with the faculty as well, since we're not like certified to do anything by ourselves. We were thinking we can maybe do like in an afternoon. We didn't really go over like the day, but maybe more like towards like the afternoon or so, just because especially with like older patients, they don't like to be out when it's late. So we're thinking maybe more afternoon, potentially on the weekend as well, just kind of depends on the time with the students. And then I think I pretty much answered everything.
Yeah, I love that idea. I'm a big fan of oral cancer initiatives. If I may provide some advice, because I think this is a
Course.
really wonderful idea, and it's a great way for everyone to implement, whether you're in dental school or later on when you're a dentist. It's a great initiative that you can implement into the community. And we are trying to do that more. Like if you're working in a practice, pick a Saturday morning, take some disposable supplies, and partner with a local assisted living home and offer to go in and do a soft tissue screening, a soft tissue exam, and oral cancer screening. Not only will you be able to provide a service that they probably aren't getting, but you may be able to start developing relationships where you're helping them with dentures, helping them identify fungal infections, helping teach caregivers how to brush their teeth and take care of the elderly. And so that kind of idea not only helps the community, but it also is a great way for you to network within your community. And and I will say, like, it also helps your business as well, helps your reputation in the community too. So that's a great way to get involved. I will encourage you to reach out to faculty that work closely with the elderly population. For those of you who may have anyone who have dementia or Alzheimer's, there's this thing called sundowning, where as the day gets later, people that have dementia or Alzheimer's, they get really restless, and so the morning time is the best time to see these types of patients. But I think that's a great idea. You can utilize the help of different companies like manufacturing companies, and they're always willing, especially if you're just asking for a little bit. Let's say you're planning on screening 30 patients. That doesn't take a lot of gauze, a lot of disposable mirrors, a lot of masks. And a company is more than willing to give you 4 or 5 boxes of masks, 4 or 5 boxes of gloves, 3, 4, 5 little tubules of gauze for you. And it's a great way to recruit some supplies and recruit some partners to help support you so that you don't have to spend too much money. And then it's really just recruiting volunteers. So that's a great idea. Thank you so much, Jamila, for representing. And I think you guys did a great thing. And I love that you partnered it up with a national campaign where it was either the month before or the month of oral cancer awareness. That's awesome. Can I have Gabriella and Maria Jose talk a little bit about what you guys discussed?
Yeah, so I was kind of telling Gabriela how I'm part of one of the new schools in Puerto Rico. So we're kind of still setting up our chapter, and we have a volunteer service opportunity coming up next month. We're gonna go to a Down Syndrome Institute and do a lot of activities to try to promote oral health. And yeah, so we're just
I love that.
trying to have it one time just for now to see how it goes. And
Yeah. You know, one of the best things about being a new chapter is that you don't have to do, you don't put too much pressure on yourself, and doing anything is something, right? And so especially for a new chapter, don't feel like you have to start from scratch. See what other projects are already out there and jump on that project. So there's a clinic here in Phoenix that's called the Neighborhood Christian Clinic, and they already have clinics, like free clinics that they host every Monday night. And they're always looking for volunteers. And so, especially for a new chapter, don't feel like you have to put the pressure on organizing something. Maybe just identify existing projects and jump on. And I keep referencing special needs because that's my whole world. But in the States, there's this like Tim Tebow prom night that happens in February. And so the students, they're not organizing it, but they're just volunteering. They're going to show up, they're going to have fun with people who have Down syndrome and special needs, and they just hang out. And that itself is community service. Spending time connecting with another human being. That is one of the best gifts that you can give to anyone, right? So don't feel like you have to start anything new. And don't feel like you have to commit to anything long term as well. I love that you said, you know, we're going to start with one, because realistic goals are the ones that will get achieved. When you think too big, sometimes you'll get disappointed and sometimes you fall short. And so it's nice to think and with realistic goals. And I love that. That's a great way to give back to the community. Awesome. Dominique, Lauren, and Preston, one of you tell me what you guys were talking about?
And I will say, quick step
Oh,
in.
of course, Gabriella. Sorry.
No, all good. For sake of time, this might have to be the last group.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Amanda, Bargavi, and Shivani, you're spared. But next time, maybe not. All right, Dominique, Lauren, and Preston.
Yeah, so we we kind of went on our own journey on this one. But we were kind of like brainstorming ideas for our chapters and for districts that we could do kind of like to bring people together without like being in the same space. And Lauren had such a beautiful idea, and I have to share it because I'm definitely going to do it at my chapter. Where she was doing a bingo card made with community service events. And I think that's so beautiful. And it's like something great that everyone can do, and you can like customize it. Where you can just like put little things like, oh, I donated clothes, or I donated cans to this, or like things like that. And I'm like, that is so cute. And it really like promotes the spirit of Community Service Month. So I just think and then also like depending on how many you get entries into a raffle so you can win a prize. And literally I just think she's a genius for that. So shout out to Lauren. Um, I had done also an alternate version of this. I did a version where we donated money. So it was like a bingo card with different donation amounts. And we had all of the bingo cards, like people raised that amount of money and sent it to our ASDA chapter's PayPal. And we donated all the money to Operation Backpack, which is like was our purposes. It was more in September, and it was back to school drive. And so we donated all the money so that students who did not have backpacks or could not afford them could get backpacks and school supplies for the new year. So you can do it in different ways. So I just think that's really cute, and you can like share it on social media. So it's like very easy to promote.
Everything you do, you should promote on social media, because not only is it to just celebrate what you're doing, but it inspires other people. Never forget that someone's always watching you and that you have an opportunity to inspire other people. Anything else to add?
Nope, that's
Good.
it.
Awesome. I really appreciate everybody sharing and participating. I know it's really hard when people put you on the spot and make you turn on your video camera, so I appreciate you humoring me. But I've had a wonderful time talking and chatting and getting to know you all and sharing ideas. I will end with my favorite quote of all time, which is to make a difference, find a need, and fill it. And that's one of the best ways that you can give back and take care of others, because other people take care of you. You can find me on Instagram. You can scan the code, but once you know me, you know me forever. So please do not hesitate to let me know if you ever need anything. Thank you so much, everyone, for letting me spend a little bit of time with you today.
Thank you so much again, Dr. Miley, for kicking off Service Month with us and sharing your insights and passion about this topic with ASDA during this session. Be sure to check ASDA's Instagram throughout the month for other Service Month activities and mark your calendar for January 28th at 7 p.m. Central for our next Service Month webinar, Clinical Community Service. Thank you again for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening.